All right. Great morning, superstars. How is everyone doing out there this morning? Welcome to another fantastic episode of Social Media Saturdays. This is your host, Taria Hodge. If you are out there and you could see me and you could hear me, do me a favor, just drop a comment into the comment section and let me know, Taria, I could see you, Taria, I could hear you. And then we are going to get this amazing conversation started this morning. And today we are talking about how to identify your market and your right fit clients. Okay. So, Barbara, I see that you're out there this morning, hon. How are you? Just drop me a comment, Barbara, and let me know that you could see me, that you could hear me, and then we will get this party bus started. Great morning, Brent. I see that you're out there. Thank you, Brent, so much for jumping in and joining. Brent, I have to say, I've been catching your videos. I love, love, love what you are doing, bringing education and awareness around financial matters. And I also love what you're doing with your girls. I saw your youngest baby, on your video with you. I was so happy that you are finding a way to pull your daughters into the conversation. And I see that Dakisha is out there this morning. Great morning, Dakisha. Thank you so much for jumping on and joining. Let's see who else we have out there. We have Christine Neblet. Oh my gosh, Christine, it's been a minute, hon. How are you? Just drop me a comment and let me know how you are doing. It's been a minute. We really have to catch up. And I see that Peg is out there this morning. Great morning, Peg. Thank you so much for letting me know that you are tuning in to Social Media Saturdays. You could see me and you could hear me, and you are watching from Maryland. And I see that Brent is letting me know that his daughter is also watching the broadcast. So once again, Brent, awesome, awesome job that you are doing with your beautiful daughters, right? In the space of educating them around financial awareness. You're introducing them to this thing called entrepreneurship. So they're getting their introduction very, very early. Okay. So I am super excited, to have, this conversation. What I think is going to be an amazing conversation today, how to find your market and identify your right fit clients. Okay. And so this is for you if you want to know the secret in building a business that you truly love. So how many of you out there, by the show of a one in the comment section, want to have a business that they truly love, a business that they get up every day, excited, to go to work in their business because they know exactly who they are called to serve. And so if that's you, just go ahead, drop a one into the comment section and just let me know, Taria, please share with me, what does it take to build a business that you truly love? And one of the things that I'm going to be talking about today is the shift that I had to make when it came to my business. You see, one of the things I found out that I've been looking at things all wrong. Okay. And so a mindset shift, a paradigm shift occurred for me. Okay. And I'll be happy to share with you as we go on about what that paradigm shift is. So we're going to cover a couple of things, in our time together. So we're going to talk about how to discover who your divine client is. So how many of you out there want to know the secret to knowing who your divine client is? Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So if you have questions, make sure that you are dropping your questions into the comment section so I can address the comments for you. Then I'm going to talk about the one thing that you're probably doing in your business that's keeping you stuck. Okay. And then we're going to talk about, now that you have identified or found a way to identify your ideal client, how can you go about finding more? Okay. And so if this is your first time tuning in to a Social Media Saturdays broadcast, I'll just let you know, Social Media Saturdays is a live online broadcast platform dedicated to helping coaches, consultants, and thought leaders get their authentic and vulnerable message into the marketplace. And I am Taria Hodge, your social media strategist, and I'm stepping out from behind the scenes and I'm helping you guys shine. And when I talk about shine, I talk about 5 specific things: how to show up, how to hone in, how to make an impact, how to increase your influence and make an impact into the marketplace, how to nurture and build relationships, and how to create an experience around your brand. So if you are out there and you are watching this morning in true social media Saturdays format, do me a favor. Drop into the comment section where you are watching from. I know Peg has already stated that she's out there. She's watching from Maryland. I always like to know where my superstars are tuning in from. Okay, so do me a favor, just drop your city, drop your state into the comment section and let me know where you are watching from. And then the second thing that I would like you to do, please put into the comment section who you serve in your business, how you serve in your business, and how we could connect with you. So these are the three things that I ask on every single broadcast. And the reason why I ask these things is because one of the cool things that happens here is the virtual networking. Okay. And so we won't know who you are. We won't know where you are. We won't know who you serve and how you serve and how to connect with you unless you tell us. Okay. So please take a minute and drop that information into the comment section. A lot of networking happens when we are on the broadcast. Believe you me, I do go back after the broadcast. I check out profiles and everything. Okay. Because one of the things that I seek to do is also be a resource. Okay, so make sure you let us know your information into the comment section. And the last thing, before we go ahead and get started, take a minute and please share this broadcast out to another entrepreneur, another coach, another consultant, another thought leader who you think can benefit from the information that I'm going to share with you today. And so I see that Dakisha has already put her hashtag shared. Thank you, Dakisha, for sharing the broadcast out with your network this morning. Okay, and so we are going to jump right in into our conversation this morning. And like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about how to identify your market and how to find your market and how to identify your real fit clients. Okay. And so one of the things that I wanted to start off here is that I had the opportunity last night as I was scrolling through the book, okay, doing my Facebook scroll, I happened to see a post by one of my dear friends and colleagues, okay, Lyric Hawkins, the rock star from Rockstar 360. And Lyric wrote such a beautiful post. And I had to say to myself, the timing couldn't be better for her to share what she shared, because it so pertains, to what we are talking about today. Okay. And so, she posted a post that was filled with encouragement. And the post, and I took a little snippet, okay, from it. And one of the things that she stated in the post was, remember, your voice, your product, your service is not for everyone. It's only for the ones that you are called to serve. Okay. So once again, remember, your voice, your product, your service is not for everyone, only the ones that you are called to serve. And I thought that that was so fitting, to the topic that we are talking about today, how to identify or find your market and identify your right fit client. So how many of you out there, are struggling with identifying your market and finding your right fit client? Okay. And because it's one of the questions that I get all the time in my business, right? How do I find, the people that I'm called to serve? How do I identify them? Or how can I find more of the people that I am called to serve? And so one of the things that I like to start off with is getting really clear on who your divine client is. Okay. So are you really clear on who your divine client is? And so if you were on with us on the last Social Media Saturdays episode, one of the things that, I talked about and I started to share is that I'm reading the book Radical Relevance by Bill Gates. Okay. And so if you have not had the opportunity to read the book, I'm going to ask you definitely to put it on your reading list. So if someone could type that into the comment section for me, Radical Relevance by Bill Gates. And I love that Bill Gates starts out with the definition of radical relevance. And he says that radical relevance, or to have radical relevance, and we all know what it means to be relevant, right? And to be able to have radical relevance, you need to start with a passion to know your right fit clients. And so it's about finding your marketing message, and radical relevance is about solving the right problems with the right product, with the right people, with the right message, through the right medium at the right time. Okay, so that's an equation right there. So, in order for you to have relevance, you need to have certain things in place, right? So, you need to know the problem that you're solving, the right problem that you're solving in the marketplace. Then you need to know the product or the service. So, what's the product or what's the solution that you are bringing into the marketplace that's going to solve that problem? Then you need to know, who is it for? So, you need to know the right fit people. And then how do you get your message out? Okay, so do you have the right message? Are you clear on your message? And then are you broadcasting that message on the right medium? And then are you doing it at the right time? Okay, so how many of you, when you take a look at your business, right, you could say that you are hitting all of those 5 points. So if you are hitting those 5 points, just go ahead, drop a 2 into the comment section and just let me know that I am hitting all 5 points. Okay, and so that's what we are going to be talking a little bit about today, is how do you create radical relevance, and how do you find your market, and how do you find your right fit client? Okay, and so one of the things that I always talk about here, especially on social media Saturdays, I talk about it, in my business with my clients. I even have conversations with my colleagues around it, is knowing who you are called to serve. Okay. And when it comes to knowing exactly who you are called to serve, I'm going to challenge everyone to go a little bit deeper than the things that we have been taught, in marketing. So if you've ever taken a marketing course, or read anything as it pertains to marketing, one of the first things they always teach you is how to identify your ideal clients by the demographics, right? And so what are the demographics that you are looking at, or have you identified when it comes to your ideal client, right? So we've been taught to take a look at things such as age. We've been taught to take a look at gender. We've been taught to take a look at things like location. We've also been taught to look at even social economic status, right? That's one of the things that we want to know. Like when we develop our products or solutions into the marketplace, are we in front of the right people? And a big determining factor for that is affordability, right? So do you know if they could afford your products and your services? But outside of that, I'm challenging, okay, everyone to go a little bit deeper and ask yourself, how well do you really know your ideal clients? So when it comes to your ideal clients, do you know the things that are keeping them up at night? So how many of you can identify a 2 a.m. problem that your ideal client has? Okay, and so if you know of a 2 a.m. problem that your ideal client has, can you drop that 2 a.m. problem? What's a 2 a.m. problem that you solve in your business for your ideal clients? Okay, so I want to see the comments. Okay, let me know, what's the 2 a.m. problem that you solve for your clients? And for those of you who are watching and you have no idea what a 2 a.m. problem is, a 2 a.m. problem is that problem that either keeps you up at night until 2 a.m. or it wakes you up out of your sleep at 2 a.m. Okay, and if something is waking you up out of your sleep at 2 a.m., I definitely would say that it needs some attention. So, how many of you know the things that are keeping your clients up at night? Okay. And if you know the thing that's keeping your clients up at night, what are the solutions that you are creating in your business that answers that 2 a.m. problem? So, are you creating the solutions to solve that 2 a.m. problem that your clients have? Okay. Now, this is one of the things that I had to learn in my business. You see, when I started out as, an entrepreneur, I had so many ideas, right? All of these wonderful ideas that I quickly learned could be turned into products. And that's what I started to do. I started to develop all of these wonderful things. I thought that they were wonderful things like in the marketplace, right? And I kind of like had a rude awakening because it became a challenge for people to, take my products and services. So how many of you have, ever felt that before? Like you developed the beautiful program, okay? And you're all excited about the program. And then you launch the program into the marketplace, and then you have the Dickens trying to enroll people into the program. So how many of you have ever experienced that? Please don't leave me hanging. Let me know if that has ever happened to anyone else out there, right? And so Tanya Miller is out there. Tanya Miller Cross is out there echoing the 2 a.m. problem. What's possibly causing my natural hair breakage? Yes. So thank you, Tanya, for sharing that, right? Like that's the 2 a.m. problem that you solve in your business, because I know if my hair was breaking or if I was losing hair, right? It would definitely keep me up at night. So thank you for sharing the 2 a.m. problem, Tanya, that you solve for your client. And I see Virginia is out there. Great morning, Virginia. Thank you for joining us. Okay. So Virginia, the 2 a.m. problem that you solve, just go ahead and drop that into the comment and in the comment section and let us know what 2 a.m. problem that you solve. Okay. And so one of the things that I had to learn, okay, is before I develop and put a product into the marketplace, I had to ensure that it was something that clients wanted or a solution that the marketplace wanted. And so that's one of the things that I had to learn how to do before I develop products and services, like do a check-in. Right? So how many of you are doing check-ins with your current clients that you have? How many of you are doing check-ins with your audience to find out, what's their 2 a.m. problem and what's the solution that you could bring to the table to help them fix that before you develop your products and services? And like I said, it was one of the things that I had to get present to in my business. Okay. So I got so excited because I know all of these things and I'm learning all of these things. Like I want to go ahead and put, the solution into the marketplace. And what that equated to sometimes was a lot of programs that failed. Okay. And so I talk about it all the time. The very first program that I launched was a total failure. Okay. Total failure. And I was so in my feelings that it took me a year, okay, to launch the program again. But these are the things that I learned, within that year. Before I brought it to the market again, I had to do some research. I had to do some check-in. So around this subject matter, what is it that people was really struggling with? And how do I create the solution into the marketplace that's a viable product, for the clients or a viable product for the audience, okay? So always remember to give your clients a seat at the table. So don't create your products or your services without you doing some type of check-in. So are you surveying your current client list? Are you surveying your audience? Are you asking these questions to know exactly what is it that the marketplace wants from you? Okay. And so, okay, Christine, I see your message, and I see that Barbara is out there joining us from Port Arthur, Texas. Okay, and so yes, so still, if you are putting your 2 a.m. problems inside of the chat, just go ahead and let me know. Okay. And so the next thing that I want to talk about when it comes to identifying your market and finding your right fit clients, okay, is how many of you are having trouble focusing on the one thing, right? So you remember I said we were going to talk about, the one thing that's probably keeping you stuck. So how many of you, have all of these ideas, right? All of these ideas for projects, you have all of these ideas for products, and what you want to do, or what you have a tendency of doing, is launching everything at the same time. Okay. And I know it's one of the hardest things to share or tell an entrepreneur to do, right? Is to focus on one thing. So how many of you out there have trouble just focusing on one thing? You have all of these ideas, you have all of these solutions running around in your mind, and you are just itching to get all of these things into the marketplace at once. Okay. So if that's you, go ahead and just let me know. Okay. That you know what? I have trouble focusing on the one thing. Okay. And this is, like I said, it's one of the biggest things, right? Because I often get this question. And even for me, I had to get very present to this. So what happens if I narrow my focus? What happens when I say that I'm only going to focus on one thing? And then there are all these other things that I'm thinking that I could be doing, or all of these other things that, I should be doing. Is it going to result in missed opportunities? So how many of you have ever felt that, right? Like you have all of these opportunities in front of you, and then if you make a decision to focus on the one thing, then you're going to lose out on all of the other things that possibly could be. Okay. And so that's a big one. That's another big thing that I get all the time. And I'll share with you, I too had to get present, very present to this, because we're talking about, first of all, building a business that you truly love. Okay. And how do you get to that place where you have the business that you truly love? And I'm going to share with you the secret to doing that is not by being all things to everyone. Okay. It's not by being all things to everyone. So the quicker that you could get to the point where you narrow your focus, you identify your one thing that you are going to focus on. And I know that Takesha is out there. I love how she says it. You become like a stamp and you stick to it, then you'll see that it actually turns out to be the thing that will allow you to grow your business. You grow in so many different ways because number one, you become a whole lot clearer. Okay. You become clearer on who you're called to serve. You get super clear on the messaging that you are putting out, into the marketplace. You get super clear on your products and your solution. And here's the thing, other people become very clear on what it is that you do. Okay. And so if you have people out there kind of scratching their head, wondering what exactly do you do in your business, that's a problem. Okay. So people are supposed to readily be able to identify what it is that you do in your business. And it makes it so much easier, to have those conversations with your right fit clients clients because they know exactly how you're going to serve them, the products and the solutions that you are putting into the marketplace. It becomes super easy for people to refer other people to you. So how many of you would like to have more referrals in your business? Raise your hands, right? Like referrals is definitely where it's at. So are people referring business to you? And then are they referring business to you on a regular and consistent basis? Okay. And like I said, that's one of the things that I had to learn, right? I had to learn like unless I am super duper clear, people don't know who to refer to me. They know I do something. They know I'm a nice person. So how many of you, right, have ever experienced that? Like people know that you're a nice person, and so they tend to refer people to you. And then when they refer someone to you, it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm glad that they thought about me, but I'm not able to help this person, right? So here's the thing. They may not be clear on exactly what it is that you do in your business. Okay. And so it also helps you collaborate better. And, if you have been following me for, oh my gosh, the past year and a half with Social Media Saturdays, one of the things that I've been talking about is being able to lock arms with other people. Okay, to lock arms. So taking a look at your network and asking yourself the question, how can you go deeper with the people that you are connected to? Okay. And so how many of you out there are actively seeking collaborative efforts? Okay. And so as you seek to collaborate with others, right, are they very clear on who you serve? Okay. So do you have the same audience? Okay. Are they clear on the solutions that you put into the marketplace? And then once you're clear on that, then collaboration becomes super duper easy. Okay. And also another thing that narrowing your focus does, focusing on the one thing, it also allows you to build a reputation around your brand. Okay. So once again, when you are out there in the marketplace, what are the thing or what's the one thing that you want to be known for? And so if you know that one thing that you want to be known for, go ahead and drop it into the comment section. Okay. What's the one thing that you want to be known for? Okay. And I see Tanya is out there. Tanya is raising her hand. She's saying me. And Virginia is saying, I definitely need to get present to the one thing. Yeah. So Virginia, I'm going to share with you. That was one of the things that I had to take a look at in my business, especially last year, like being in this space, right? Like I know how to do like a lot of stuff. Okay. And I really had to sit down and be honest, like what was my business looking like, right? My business kind of looked like a patchwork quilt. Okay. A patchwork quilt. Like, okay, I could do this and I could do that. And then we kind of fuse this over here and then we fuse that together. And then there's all these different things, right, that you do. And then business becomes like a kind of a strain because it's like you're trying to provide all of these solutions into the marketplace and you're not really doing any one of those solutions to the best that you could provide the solution, right? And so that's one of the things that I actually had to sit back and say, well, oh, okay, so what's the thing that I'm going to focus on? What's the thing that I'm going to build? I'm going to provide the solution around it, and I'm going to become like super duper awesomely, exceptionally well at it. Like get the passion, like nobody's going to do it in the marketplace better than I'm going to do it. Okay. And it's so much easier to have that attention and have that focus, on something when it's the one thing. Okay, so develop the one thing, and that's the name of a book, by the way. The one thing. I can't remember who wrote the book, Okay, but if you give me a second after the broadcast, I would drop the title and the author of the book inside of the broadcast too. Okay, so it's focusing on the one thing. So how do you build out, that one thing, and you focus on that one thing? You get that one thing going really well before you take a look at the next thing. And like I said, one of the things that became so amazingly apparent to me because I got super clear on that one thing, it's like business expanded, okay? Because I was able to serve at a higher level in the products and the solutions that I provide. People came to know me for that one thing. So referrals only got better. And then when I'm in collaborative conversations, we collaborate around that one thing. And so I'm seeing that Peg is saying that her one thing is communications. So thank you, Peg, for dropping that, in there. Anita is saying her one thing is honesty, helpfulness, and hospitality. Thank you for sharing that, Anita. Jones says, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, is saying her one thing is faithfulness to clients. Sharon is saying her one thing is becoming a brand ambassador. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing your one thing. Okay. And then also, now that you have spent some time, and then, like I said, this is continuous work. So I also get this question a lot. Okay. What if fairly new in my business, and I'm still, you know learning or identifying my ideal client. Okay, and I'm just going to say once again, it's like work in progress. Okay, so one of the things that I found is that we all come into this space having an idea of, a broad idea of who we are called to serve or who we want to serve. Okay, and so that's where your broad demographics come in. But it isn't until you really start to, operate in your business and you start to work with more and more clients, then you really get a chance to understand who your right fit clients are. Okay, so your divine clients, who are they? So, are you getting the opportunity to learn? Are you like paying attention, right? And so one of the things that I look at, when it comes to the clients that I enjoy like working with, right? Super achievers. Okay. So how many of you have clients out there that you would classify them as super achievers? How many of you out there could identify your clients as being solution focused? Okay. So here's what having a positive attitude, just willing to keep going, like they're not easily rocked or they're not easily phased. One of the things that got me really present to that is when I take a look at the space of social media. And even my mindset with social media has changed over the years. You see, when I came in to social media, the conversation in the beginning was like, oh my gosh, you need to get your business on social media. And it was that struggle and that fight, to get people to consider social media seriously. Now it's here, right? We all know that we should be having strategies in our business that incorporate social media strategies, right? Because it's definitely the place. But what is our mindset and what is our attitude in regards to social media? So, are you still thinking like social media is like the one hit wonder? And when I say the one hit wonder, this is what I mean. You go ahead, you launch a campaign, or you put some stuff on social media, and because of the share numbers, on social media, you're thinking everything is supposed to be on and popping. And the minute things don't turn out, maybe you launched a campaign. Like I said, I launched a product, it didn't go anywhere. That has happened to me before. You kind of fold up your arms, you throw it up in the air, and you say social media doesn't work. right? So I came to soon realize that, the people who weren't willing, to make that mindset shift around social media wasn't my people. Okay. And so I learned to look for the people who are solution focused. Meaning, when I say solution focused, this is what I mean. Like, hey, we're going to do some stuff. Okay. And you have to be okay with it. Number one, taking a minute to work. Okay. So it's not that you throw it out there and then it's like, oh my gosh, boom. Okay. So are you going to work? Are you willing to adjust? Are you willing to make the changes? Are you willing to just keep going? Okay. I had to quickly identify that the people who I'm thinking like, oh, I'm just going to do social media for 3 months, those are not my people. Okay. So I am looking, for the people, or I'm attracting the people, okay, who know that social media strategies are a viable part of their marketing plan, a viable part of their marketing strategies. And just like how they do marketing, other forms of marketing, they look at social media the same way. Social media is not something that you do your business goals, your marketing plan, and then you have social media somewhere over here all out in mid-air. Those are not my people. Okay. And so it's being able, to communicate that and then look for those characteristics that you enjoy in people, those characteristics in people that you enjoy. Okay. And a lot of times what we will find is that we are in essential looking for people like ourselves. Okay. And so, yes, people who are excited, about their business, they wake up with that energy, that passion, that drive, to keep going. Right. And I realized that that's me, right? Like I want to work more, with those people who feel that way about their business. Okay. All right. And so now I'm going to share with you 5 things, okay, to consider when it comes to defining your market. And I know we hear the term market, we hear the term niche, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When we talk about market and we talk about niches, it isn't some aloof thing out there. These are people. Okay. And so when you take a look at your market, I want you to be first and foremost thinking about the people that you are called to serve. Okay. So 5 things to consider when you are defining your market or you're defining your people. Okay. So the first thing is, what's the problem? So we talked about the 2 a.m. problem. So is the problem that you solve a big identifiable problem? Okay. So how many people are challenged with the problem that you are called to serve, that you are called to produce the solution for? Okay. So is the problem big enough? So first you have to have a big identifiable problem. Okay. The second thing, we talk about it all the time. Can they afford you? And I know that this is a touchy subject for a lot of people. Okay. And when we talk about affordability, here's the thing that I personally look at. Okay. I look for the people who are willing to make it work. I am looking for the people, okay, who are willing, to give it consideration, to make the arrangements, to make it work. You see, a lot of times when we talk about affordability, we think it's about putting in the cheapest product into the marketplace, or lowering our price, or thinking like the value that we provide is on the price tag. Okay. And one of the things that, I had to learn and become very present to, okay, is number one, provide the value. And Your pricing is what your pricing is. Okay, so how many of you know that? Like your pricing is what your pricing is. Okay, what you are looking for is the people, okay, who are willing to make it work. The people who are saying, you know what, I need to give this some thought. You know what, let me see what I could arrange. Let me see what I could do. Maybe I can't do it right now. Okay. Maybe it might take me 3 months. Maybe it might take me 6 months. Okay. So, how many of you out there, when you are getting into conversations, with a potential client and you hear what you perceive as a no, okay, because I don't hear no, I just hear not now. Okay, how many of you, when you hear that, right, you're like, oh my gosh, you know they don't want to work with me, and you go into all of that negative self thought, right? And so you start to question your value, you start to question your products and your services, all of that stuff, right? And actually what they're saying is not no, right? But maybe not now. Okay, not no, but I need to take a look at some things. Okay, not no, but maybe I'm working on something right now. Okay, and I know I won't be able to give your product or your program, whatever it is that you're putting out there, full attention until I am finished with this. So how many of you have actually had people say that to you? Right? Like I just came through a launch, okay, of a 2-day speaker training program, and making the phone calls and getting on the phones, like some beautiful conversations. And had I not made the calls and not had I not gotten on the phone, I would think that people were saying no. And what they were saying is not no, but not now. Okay, so I'm able to position like, oh, okay, since you can't do this round, then we're doing it again on such and such date. Okay, would that be a better time for you? And they go, oh, yes, I could totally do it this time because this and this would now be removed off of my schedule and I have more time to focus. Okay. Or how many of you, you put your pricing out there? This is the investment that it takes to work with me. Right. And then you say, this is the investment. And then people are like, quiet, or they say, oh, wow, I can't afford to do that. I can't do that right now. And then you go into this headspace like, oh my gosh, they want me to lower my pricing. Well, no, they may not want you to lower their pricing. Are you exhausting ways to work it out and make it affordable for them? Okay. So are you in that conversation? Like, what can I do to make it affordable for you? How can we make this work? And a lot of times, okay, and I have to say, more times than often, when I have that conversation and I ask that question, how can we make it work? We end up coming to the table with a solution. And oftentimes, that solution does not involve me lowering my prices, giving a discount, right? Removing stuff, all of that stuff is just figuring it out and having the willingness to figure it out. Okay. I see that. Is it Nancy? Nancy Matthews wrote The One Thing. She's the co-founder of Women's Prosperity Network. Great book and philosophy. Peg, I have to check out because I don't think the one that I read, and I'm not saying that there isn't one written by Nancy Matthews, but I don't think that that's the one that I read. So I'm actually going I'm actually going into my Audible, right? So don't you just love it that we have technology at our fingertips? And I think it's in my Audible. Okay, so The One Thing by Gary Keller. That's the one that I read, Peg. Okay, The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papa San. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. The One Thing by Gary Keller. And oh yes, and I do remember. And the reason why I remember the One Thing is because Gary Keller is actually the founder of Keller Williams, or one of the founders of Keller Williams. You know, the real estate brokerage. Okay, so that's where I remember the book from. Okay, so I will definitely check out the version of The One Thing by Nancy Matthews. Thank you so much, Peg, for dropping that into the comment section for me, because I have not read that version. Okay, so it's two one things. I love it. Yes, I did not know that there are two books out there called The One Thing. So the one that I read was by Gary Keller. Okay, and so Tanya is out there saying, I've had clients tell me that they had to get their self together before they come to me. Isn't it so beautiful, Tanya, that clients will give you that much consideration of your time, okay, and that much respect for what it is that you do. That's how I am reading what you have put into the comment section. I think it's absolutely beautiful when I simply could have assisted them through that process. But here's the thing, I think it's respect, and appreciation for what it is you do. Because, like I said, I've been, Tanya, in this space for quite some time, okay? And I have had, once again, people enroll in programs. I've had people taking courses and sign up to work with me. And then guess what? They don't do the work, okay? And it's kind of like a funny place, for everyone involved, okay? Because it's number one, why are you not doing the work? Okay, I don't understand. It's like you paid for it, right? So why aren't you going through it? And then once again, it became a thing. Like when I go back and I have, the conversations, it's like, they didn't consider, or they didn't think about it, like, oh, this is really what it takes, to do this, right? Or it could be a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on. Okay, but the fact that people are actually telling you, like, I need to get myself ready, so I come to you. Before I come to you, I think it's a beautiful thing, because when they do come to you, like, they're ready to fully embrace and take action on the things that you are laying out, for them. So they're willing, to get to the point of the transformation that you are guiding them through. Okay, because I'm going to tell you, there's nothing more frustrating, man, than trying to guide someone, somewhere, and they're still stuck. They're not moving. They're not doing anything. Like, I think it's a frustrating thing for all parties involved. And like I said, going back to the question that I asked in the beginning, how many of you want to know the secret to building a business that you truly love? So these are all of the things, to take into consideration. And that's why, and Tanya, thank you so much for posting that question, because I really get passionate and I really get excited about this part, because one of the things that irks me in the marketplace is how some people shame people into working with them, right? Have you guys ever seen that? Like, you've ever seen like a sale process like absolutely go to the left, right? Where someone is offering, their products and their services, and they receive what we now call an objection. And I'm going to have another conversation about that, because it's not really an objection. It's just questions that need to be answered. Okay. And so the better you get at answering these questions, the closer, you bridge that gap, of conversion. Right. But anyway, I don't want to digress. Okay. People shame people into working with them, or if they say, hey, I'm not ready for this right now, or if I can't do this right now for whatever the reason, like, that person has made the prospect feel so bad about themselves. And I'm here to say, like, hey, we don't have to do that. Okay. So once again, going back to our right fit clients. Okay. So we don't have to shame anyone. We don't have to make anybody feel bad, no matter where they are in their journey. I hear a lot of things like in the marketplace, and that's one of the things that like I truly detest. Like, make it a point, as you go through like your process, you show up and serve. And that's my thing. Okay. Whether they engage in the contract with you or not, what is the thing that you're going to do to leave that person better than they were before they connected with you? And that's always the goal. Okay. So Tanya, I so appreciate you, for dropping that into the comment section, because it's great point of discussion. Okay. The third thing that I'm going to challenge you to think about when it comes to identifying your market, that your market has several different ways to communicate with you. So, how are you communicating with your market, formally and informally? Okay, so are you on social media? Are you building your email list? Are you speaking? Okay, are you networking? Where are all of the ways that you can get in front of your target market? Okay, and what that allows you to do, okay, is build up your reputation. So people, once again, do business with who? They do business with people who they like, know, and trust. Okay, and we have to be able to put ourselves in the places and deliver value, show up and serve in all of the ways that we can, be connected with our market. Okay. And then the fourth thing that I'd like to share is you have to absolutely enjoy working with them. Okay. You have to enjoy doing what you do. So as you take a look at your niche, as you take a look at your target market, right? Are they people that you absolutely love to work with? And I'm telling you, as a coach and as a consultant, right? It's one of those things that's definitely a game changer in business. So when you get up every day, are you excited to go about your business of serving? Okay. Or do you wake up every day dreading working in your business, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have this conversation today, or oh my gosh, I have a call with this person today, and you are actually dreading the encounter, which puts like a total different energy out there, and it becomes a painful process for all people involved. Okay, so I made a decision that that's not how I want to operate in my business, right? So once again, is being able to identify the people that you are called to serve, knowing who those people are, going a little bit deeper than, well, it's actually a whole lot deeper than the demographics that we were taught to look at. But do you know the psychographics? Do you know the characteristics that you want your ideal clients to have? Are you guys in value alignment? Oh my gosh, that's another conversation, right? So as you take a look at the values that you hold dear to yourself and the values that you hold dear in your business, are your clients on the same wavelength with those values? Are you communicating the values? Okay. All right. And so, like I said, I talk about serving, all the time. Serving becomes really easy for me when I know I'm serving people who know that they're called to serve. Okay. They're not just in the marketplace, trying to do quick exchanges for money. They know that there's a specific, group of people that they're called to work with. Okay. And so working with them becomes a joy to help them attract the people that they're called to work with. You see how that works? It's such a beautiful thing. Okay. All right. And so before we wrap up this episode of social media Saturdays, I'm going to leave you with three things that, I want you guys to take away, from a conversation. So, number one, always make sure that you are positioning yourself as the expert. So three strategies, right? So as you take a look at how to find your market and identify your right fit client, like you are the expert, you are the guide. Okay. And here's a little hint. You are not out there just selling a product, a service, or a solution. What you are doing is guiding people through to their transformation. Okay. So where are they now? And where do they desire to be? And they turn to you as the expert to help them move from that place where they are now to where they desire to be. Okay. So you first have to show up as the expert. Okay. Now, are you also, strategy number two, are you also connecting and building relationships with the people who have the people that you are called to serve? And so this goes into the conversation that I've been with, like I said, over the past year and a half, going on 2 years. How do I do more with the network of people that I have? Instead of going wide, how do I go deep? And so as you work with your influencers, okay, and then we talked about influencers, my definition is people who inspire others to action. We all know that we have people, in our network like that, right? So as you take a look at your influencers, how can you connect with them? And then how can you serve first? So are you positioning yourself in the marketplace to serve first? Okay. And then the third strategy, if you are not doing this, and then this is where, I could definitely help you. You need to speak if you're not speaking. You need to write if you're not writing. Okay? Positioning yourself as a thought leader to your audience is critical. So, once again, do people know clearly what it is that you do in your business? Are you getting your authentic and your vulnerable message into the marketplace? Are you attracting, okay, the people that you are called to serve? Okay, so those are the three things that I want you to consider. Okay, so always position yourself as an expert. Seek out influencers in your industry or in your market, and seek to serve first. And then also position yourself as the thought leader. So if you aren't speaking, speak. This was a very big one for me. For years, I told myself that, I'm not a speaker. Okay. I ran from it and I realized that my business wasn't going to go far, if I wasn't willing, to open up my mouth and get my message, my authentic message, into the marketplace and start attracting the people that I am called to serve. Okay. And so if you have any other questions before we wrap it up, please drop your questions into the comment section. And I would like to thank each and every one of you, my superstars, for tuning in to another amazing episode. I thought it was amazing episode of Social Media Saturdays. And so if you are not connected with us in our Social Media Saturdays community, head on over to Facebook, to Social Media Saturdays, helping you serve, share, and shine. That's the name of our community. Knock on the door. I'll let you in. I'll be happy to have you. This is a place as you go through your week. You don't always have to wait until we do a broadcast, to jump in. So if you have questions or you have things that you would love to share, you'll be happy to share it inside of our community. Like I said, one of the things that I absolutely love that happens is the virtual networking. So if you would like to be reminded of Social Media Saturdays, we do our live broadcast Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Standard Time, make sure that you like our page and turn on your notifications. So after the video ends, you're going to see a little pop-up that says get notifications. And so you can now be notified when we are doing our social media Saturdays episodes. Okay. We could also be found on Instagram. So you could follow us on Watch SMS Live on Instagram. Also on Twitter at Watch SMS Live. And if you are on LinkedIn, you could find me by my name, Taria Hodge. Okay. And so, Tanya, yes, it's been definitely a pleasure to have you on this morning and sharing. So, like I said, thank you for posting your thought, which opened up a great conversation. So, thank you. Love you and appreciate you for doing that. And Virginia, I see that you're out there saying brilliant. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us all the way from Canada. And I see that Anita Jones is saying thank you. Anita, it's my pleasure. So this is one of the things that I absolutely love doing in my business, right? So like I said, we're talking about ways that you could build a business that you truly love. Okay. And so if you want to have a business that you truly love, do more things that you love with the people that you love doing them with, right? It's simple. So I love it. Thank you, Anita, for joining. And Joneses has said, thank you so much. This has been informative. Thank you, Joneses, for dropping in and tuning in and joining us this morning. So everyone take care and have a blessed week until we connect again next time. Bye-bye.